All right, let's get into it. If you're serious about a career in cybersecurity, then what we're about to do is, without a doubt, the most important first step you can take. We are going to build your very first cybersecurity lab. And look, this isn't just some techie project. This is the foundation, the training ground for your entire future in this field. So, let's get started.
I love this quote from Israel great mind Joshua because it just hits the nail on the head. You can't learn cybersecurity from a textbook alone. It's a hands-on keyboard kind of job. You absolutely need a safe place, a sandbox, where you can experiment, you can break things, and you can learn how to fix them without any real-world consequences. So here's our game plan. We're going to do this in 5 simple stages. First, we'll round up all our tools and tech. Then, we'll build what I call the digital sandbox. That's our safe zone. After that, we'll assemble our virtual machines, run our very first scan to see it all come to life, and then we'll tie it all together and talk about how this little lab is your ticket to a career.
Okay, first things first. Section 1, gathering your tools and tech. You know, just like building anything, we gotta get our materials laid out before we can start putting things together.
Now, the great news is you probably already have everything you need. We're not talking about a supercomputer here. You'll want at least 8 gigs of RAM, though honestly 16 is gonna make your life a lot smoother. About 50 gigs of free hard drive space is plenty. And the one techie thing you need to check is that virtualization is enabled in your computer's BIOS. It's just a setting that lets your computer run other computers inside of it. If you hit a snag later, just Google your computer's model and enable virtualization. You'll find a guide in seconds.
So every good story needs a hero and a villain, right? In our lab, we have an attacker and a victim. Our attacker machine will be Kali Linux. Think of it as a cybersecurity expert's Swiss Army knife. It comes preloaded with all the tools we'll need. And our victim is a machine called Metasploitable 2. Now, this machine is intentionally designed with security holes. This is what lets us practice finding and exploiting vulnerabilities in a way that's completely safe and legal.
Okay, let's move on to what is arguably the single most important concept of this entire process. We are building our digital sandbox. And the golden rule here is isolation. We have to keep our experiments contained.
So what do I mean by network isolation? Well, imagine you build a small, sealed, soundproof room inside your house. Anything that happens in that room stays in that room. That's exactly what we're doing for our virtual machines. They'll live on their own private network where they can talk to each other, but they absolutely cannot touch your home network or the actual internet. This is a non-negotiable safety step, seriously.
And you know what the best part is? Creating this safe little network in VirtualBox is ridiculously easy. You just open the program, go to the File menu, find the Host Network Manager, and click Create. That's it. 3 clicks. You now have a secure, private network ready and waiting for your lab. All right, our sandbox is officially built. Now it's time to put our attacker and our target inside of it. Let's get these virtual machines assembled and connected.
The setup itself is pretty simple. You're going to download the Kali Linux installation file, and you'll import the Metasploitable machine, which comes ready to go. But listen up, because here is the crucial step that makes it all work. For both of these machines, you have to go into their individual settings, find the network section, and set adapter 1 to host-only adapter. This is literally what plugs them into that safe, isolated sandbox we just created.
Before we go any further, let me introduce you to your new best friend, Snapshots. A snapshot is basically a save game for your virtual machine. It captures a perfect, clean state that you can return to in an instant. The workflow is simple, and you should always follow it. Before you run a new test, take a snapshot. When you're done experimenting or if you mess something up, just revert. It's your personal time machine, and it means you always get to start fresh.
Okay, the moment you've been waiting for. The lab is built, it's secure, we've got our time machine ready to go. Now for the fun part. Let's actually use this thing. It's time to run our very first scan and see what we can find.
And to do that, we're going to use a legendary tool called Nmap. It stands for Network Mapper, and it is the absolute go-to industry-standard tool for exploring networks. It basically works by sending out little digital probes, or packets, and then it listens to the replies to figure out who's on the network and what they're doing. Here are a few Nmap commands you are going to use all the time. The first one, -sn, is pretty simple. It's like shouting, "Is anyone out there?" It just finds which machines are online. The -sv command goes a step further. It's like asking, "Okay, I see you. What services are you running?" And then there's -p-. That one's for when you want to be extra thorough. It checks all 65,535 possible network doors or ports on the target.
All right, let's get you that first win. Go ahead and open the terminal in your Kali Linux machine. You'll need to find the IP address of your victim machine first, but once you have it, type this command exactly, sudo nmap-sv, and then the victim's IP. The sudo part just gives the command admin rights to run properly. Go on, hit enter, and watch the magic unfold.
After a moment, you're going to see some output. Now don't let it intimidate you. It's just telling you a story. When you see something like 22/TCP open SSH, that tells you there's a port open for secure remote connections. See 80/TCP open HTTP? That's a web server, and that's a huge clue. An attacker sees that, and they immediately start thinking about website vulnerabilities. Every open port is a doorway, an invitation to investigate further.
That's awesome. You've built a lab, you've run a real scan, but the technical skills are only one piece of the puzzle. How do we take what you just did and turn it into a professional career? That's what this is all about, shifting your mindset to that of an ethical professional.
A core principle in our industry is something called responsible disclosure. The concept is simple. If you find a vulnerability in a real-world product, you don't post it on the internet for glory. You act responsibly. You privately report it to the company that makes the software, and you give them a reasonable amount of time to fix it before bad guys can use it. You become part of the solution, not the problem.
And here's what that process looks like in the real world. First, you verify and carefully document what you found. Then, you contact the vendor privately. You coordinate with them on a timeline for a fix, and you always follow the rules of any bug bounty program they might have. This is how you build a reputation as a trustworthy and respected professional in the field. And this right here is why all of this matters to you today. I want you to start thinking of this lab as your professional portfolio. Every experiment you run, every vulnerability you practice finding, every time you document your findings, that becomes a story. It's tangible proof of your skills that you can talk about in a job interview. It shows you don't just know the theory, you know how to apply it.
Now, things will go wrong sometimes. It happens. Don't get frustrated, it's just part of the learning curve. If your VMs can't see each other, I'd bet money it's because they aren't on the same host-only network. If you get a permission denied error, you probably just need to add sudo to the front of your command. This little table covers the most common headaches you might run into.
And, of course, full credit where it is absolutely due. This entire guide is based on the amazing work of Israel Great Mind Joshua in the Village Lab issue number 001.
If this was helpful and you're hungry for more, I strongly recommend you go find and subscribe to the Village Lab on YouTube. You'll find a ton of other fantastic learning resources there. So there you have it. Your lab is built, it's safe, you've run your first scan, and you've started to see the digital world through the eyes of a security pro. The foundation has been laid. The only question left is, what will you discover next?